Kjell Nordstrom, business strategy expert and co-author of Funky Business. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of AI?
The thing that comes to my mind when I think of AI is actually Ada Lovelace, a woman back in England more than 100 years ago, that is actually the person that took the first step in creating thinking machines, because this is a machine that in a way can identify patterns and that can imitate human thinking in certain areas. So I'm thinking of machines and machines that can identify patterns, and I'm thinking of history because they have a long history by now.
What is the biggest change that AI is bringing to your work in the present?
What is the biggest change that AI brings to my own work? I think illustrations, firstly. Secondly, I think AI helps me almost on a daily basis to fact check certain things. I use it for fact checking. I prefer to do the thinking myself, but I back it up with the help of the machine. I think of it to a certain extent as my co-pilot. You know, we fly this plane together, me and AI. And the plane, that's basically my work. And well, I do 70–80% of the work, the machine do 20.
What is the biggest change that you believe AI will bring to your work in the next 10 years?
So I think that AI will bring to my and other people's work a change in the sense that this will be an infrastructure. Just as electricity is an infrastructure, or internet today is infrastructure, it's not, I repeat, not a competitive advantage for companies, for example, or for a university, because all universities around the world today are connected to the internet. So that's not a competitive advantage for the university. And all universities in the world will absolutely use AI in one form or the other, which means it is not a competitive advantage, it's infrastructure. Actually, I think AI was born as an infrastructure.
What do we need to be mindful of when it comes to AI?
Where do we need to be particularly mindful when it comes to the use of AI? I think we have a problem already today. We have had that for almost 2 decades, and that is, of course, to be able to classify whether this is something that is machine-made, reliable or not, whether it's human-made or not. We cannot tell today what is machine-made, what is a falsification, what is this, what is that. Here we have, I think, one of the biggest problems of our time. We are losing trust, in many cases in media, in our governments, in politicians, in professors and doctors. We have a lowering of the trust in most societies around the world, driven by the fact that we have machines today that can produce a lot of information. That is, of course, just inventions. It has nothing to do with reality, nothing to do with truth.
How do you find the idea of an AI assistant?
I find very valuable. It's like an accountant, if you see what I mean. But in this case, it's the words that you account for and that you organize and manage. This is one of the areas where I believe that it can be of really great help for me and for other people that work with intellectual work, doctors, lawyers, many of us that produce basically thoughts and ideas during the day, and we act with clients and patients and what have you. And to then have a machine that with machine-like precision actually account for what has been said, document what has been done, and actually sort this to a certain extent of great value, massive value, and it frees up important time to interact with my students or to interact with the patients if you're a doctor. So here I see a huge potential for making things much better.
Stay tuned and discover more about AI at Brand Minds 2024.